Sometimes this time of year, it happens to all of us that we don't get to the plants as quickly as we thought, and they get leggy. Even if you sometimes have them under lights and kind of in the best positions to grow the best, they get leggy. So you can see here's one of my seedlings that got pretty leggy, and it's almost kind of falling over and all that. So I wanted to show you what I do with that, and then also with leggy plants like this. That get kind of leggy as well, and so there's a couple solutions there. So I'm going to start with these seedlings first. So what I have is I'm going to be potting these up from a 72 tray into a 4-inch pot. So I dig a deep hole with my fingers like this, really pretty deep, you know, if you think it's about this deep. So that's probably going to work out well. I take my little handy knives here and put them on either side of this, and I'll pull them out. So I've got a nice root system there, and what I'm going to do is to place this as deeply into this hole as possible. What you have here are the little caught leaves, and then leaves up here. I'm gonna bury those leaves and hopefully get the soil to about this level. So here we go. I'm just gonna push it down. I'm gonna grab the soil and put it around. So that helps with the leggy seedling. I could even have gotten that down a little farther. Just make sure you keep your tags with them. And again, I'm going to try this one here. Again, a leggy seedling. So I'm going to take this and stick it down into the hole. Gently push it down. Just don't worry about the leaves being under the soil. And then you can see it gets off to a better start there when you do it that way. When you have a leggy plant like this is a cutting that kind of got away from me. Actually, it got away from me. This is the second time it's gotten away from me. You can see here the first time I cut it way back and it pushed laterals, but again, it's gotten away from me. It's pretty leggy. So there's a couple things I could do here. One, I could just say, okay, I'm going to remove these leaves here and these leaves here and possibly these leaves here, and I'm going to plant this plant really deep so that the soil level is right here. You could do that. So you could plant this whole thing deep down into the soil. And I might want to do that. But if I don't feel like doing that and it's a little bit just not the right time of year for me to be planting, then I'm going to cut these back one more time. So what I would do on this, if I cut it back here, if you look down here, if I cut it back here, there would be little pushes here, and I could easily do that. I could also cut it back here, and then I would have pushes here and pushes here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it here. So you just give it a snip like that, and you have this piece that's left over. I've already pinched this out. We talked about pinching out yesterday. So this has been pinched out. You could put this into like a rooting cube. I would remove these leaves like that. I would shorten this stem to about 1/4 inch, and you could put those into a root riot. If I was going to do that and these leaves were this big, I would also tear the leaves in half, because that's a lot of taking care of that the plant would need to do, and you could maybe get that started. Again, on this one, I'd already pinched it off, so I don't know if I would do it, but here we go. So I would cut that back like that. So you can do that. You could try to, again, plant this if you wanted to do a cutting off of it. Again, you would want to cut about 1/4 inch from the leaf axil there. I usually rub off these little extra guys, and I would try to plant it down to about here. And you could see if these would then push, and then you could use that as a cutting. So this is something to do if your plants get leggy. So you could do that. If you really need a longer time to wait, let's say you have a month before you can plant out, I might even have taken it down to here, and you could do that too. So at each leaf axil here, it should push another sprout right here, another lateral right here and here. You could do that. And it's better to plant a plant like this than one that's super leggy. Have a good day, everyone.